Coming up on the Monday edition of Carolina Week.
We don't know who started the fire between UNC and Duke, but it's burning even hotter now after a huge Heels victory.
Find out why some area students are taking the word homework literally.
And in sports, 3 Tar Heels have been here through it all. From their struggles as freshmen to the glory as seniors, you do not want to miss their story.
Plus your 4-day forecast.
All that and more.
Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
Good evening and welcome to the March 7th edition of Carolina Week. I'm Courtney Robinson.
And I'm Nora Warren. Well, Tar Heel fans are still enjoying the sweet taste of victory after Sunday night's monumental win.
It sure was a monumental win. Sportscaster Wes Wilson joins us now to share some of the highlights of the big game. Wes?
Yeah, guys, I really cannot get that smile off my face. It's still there. But guys, how long has it been since Carolina was the outright champion of the ACC? 12 years, but all that changed Sunday afternoon thanks to some late-game Tar Heel heroics. It was a story written in Carolina blue. We pick up action in the second half. Duke up by 1, Felton at the line to tie it, but no, freshman sensation Marvin Williams was there to put it back, and he was fouled. The Tar Heels take the lead. Duke gets one last shot, but these prayers were not answered, and hundreds of Tar Heel faithful will storm the court as Carolina wins 75-73. Not only are the Tar Heels the outright champions in the ACC, thanks to previously unbeaten Illinois' loss yesterday, they might also be the nation's #1 team when the new rankings come out later Monday night.
Thanks, Wes. We'll have more about the Devils' descent later on in the show.
Well, reporter Ross Widener was in the thick of the Franklin Street celebration. He joins us now in the newsroom to tell us about just how crazy Carolina fans were. Ross?
Carolina fans had a hot time after the Duke game. They took March Madness literally and celebrated with a raucous victory dance on Franklin Street.
Police estimate more than 2,500 fans flooded Franklin Street after the big win. As the last seconds ticked off the clock, fans at Linda's Bar and Grill on Franklin Street erupted. While some fans rushed out of the bars onto Franklin Street, these fans started the first bonfire of the night with a couch. Even though this fire didn't last long, as the sun went down, the sparks started up on another fire down the street.
It's kind of like Halloween, but there's more to celebrate, so it's better, way better.
Fans fed the flames with newspapers, tree branches, and even the shirts off their backs. But just as quickly as it started, police pushed people to the sidewalks so firefighters could put out the flames.
Mostly what we're doing is just trying to keep the combustibles out of the fires and that sort of thing, making sure nobody gets hurt. We're trying to be as easygoing on everybody as we can.
Cleanup crews swept the street and picked up the trash, including this Christmas tree that didn't quite make it to the bonfire.
I was here with Jackie and Juwan and all them through the past 4 years, and to be where we are now is exactly where we've always wanted to be, and it's so nice, like, for our senior year to finally have it. We're going all the way.
Die-hard Carolina fans are hoping this won't be the last time they'll dance in the streets this spring.
We're #1! The glory is back! Yeah!
Police say this year's celebration wasn't as rowdy as in previous years. In 2001's, fans flipped over several cars and set them on fire.
Ross, I was also out on Franklin Street Sunday night. It seemed like the police had things under control. Would you agree?
The police wanted everyone to be able to have a good time, but when a few fans started rocking a car, police moved in quickly and kept them from doing any damage. On a personal note, I was completely covered in soot and had to fight my way through the crowd several times, but came out unharmed. It's a story I'll remember for a long time. Courtney?
As will I. Ross Widener reporting from the newsroom. Thanks, Ross.
For some students, having tickets to this much-anticipated game just wasn't enough. Some 250 of them camped outside the Dean Dome 3 straight days to get the best spot on the risers. Students hung out from Thursday night until the doors opened Sunday afternoon, throwing frisbees and waiting eagerly for friends to visit and, most importantly, to bring food. By 1 o'clock, some of these rabid fans started to put on their game faces, getting pumped for the high-intensity showdown with their biggest rival. Duke President Richard Broadhead will be sporting a lighter shade of blue this week because of another Carolina win. Last week, Carolina and Duke went head-to-head off the court in the Beat Hunger campaign. Students, alumni, and fans worked together in a race to see which school could raise the most donations for the food bank of Central and Eastern North Carolina. By Friday afternoon, blue bins at the Campus Y overflowed with canned and boxed goods, which were later loaded into a truck to be tallied. Carolina came out on top with 68,000 pounds. Duke collected 8,000 pounds. Well, Courtney, that means Broadhead will soon be wearing Carolina blue, so it might be a little hard for Duke students to focus on their books for the next few days.
Well, Carolina Week's Mary McGuirt tells us how some students at another school in Durham are taking their learning to the house.
The half hour that a boy counts so much.
Welcome to what they call Chancery Academy. The students, 15-year-old Levi, 13-year-old Christian, 11-year-old Prescott, and 9-year-old Eva. The teacher, their mom, Amy Ruff.
I decided to homeschool because of some really proactive reasons.
Those reasons? Devoting more time to our children's study of subjects like reading and Spanish. The Ruff children are part of a growing population of homeschoolers. Last year, North Carolina had 30,000 homeschooling families. That's up 9,000 in the past 10 years. One of the appeals? Having the lesson taught by a familiar face.
Instead of having like a billion teachers, you get to sit on a nice cozy couch and she can sit right next to you and help you.
Throw away all those ideas of crowded classrooms and stiff wooden desks. The Ruff family is proof that learning can take place right within the comfort of their own home.
But do homeschoolers get the same level of interaction outside the classroom as other students? Prescott thinks so.
Homeschooling's not a very sheltered thing.
He and his siblings participate in activities like this drama club as members of the Christian Home Educators Association of Durham. Experts say the quality of homeschooling really depends on the individual's situation.
I would really question any finding that said, here is the effect of homeschool versus here is the effect of more public education.
For the Ruff family, their idea of learning is keeping it in the home. In Chapel Hill, I'm Mary McGuirt, Carolina Week.
Area homeschoolers are branching out beyond their living rooms. A Durham homeschool basketball team just won the state title. 32 teams competed.
Got milk? Well, some students might have a little too much.
It's good for your bones, but if you have a weak stomach, you might find this story utterly disgusting.
Where's the whole wheat? There's no whole wheat. Hey, excuse me?
Excuse me, sir, something wrong?
Yeah, there's something wrong. You want to get me some whole wheat? Oh, come on.
Hey, hey, amigo. Hey, I asked you for whole wheat bread. This is not what I wanted. El Wheato.
Sorry for the confusion.
You know, that's the problem with these people. If you want to serve Americans, you got to learn to speak the language. You know what I'm saying?
No, sir. I don't. Enjoy your lunch.
Imagine the power of one voice. Click freedomcenter.org to find yours.
Students and their money are not easily parted because students don't have much money to begin with. Reporter Elizabeth Stewart demonstrates that it is possible to do a lot with just a little.
It happens thousands of times a day. But how hard would it be to skip that soda every once in a while?
Every hour, 50 children in Africa are dying from measles.
These students think it's not too tough at all, and they're trying to convince other students too. The Campus Y is spearheading a drive to raise both awareness and money to get the measles vaccine to the children who need it. Measles is not a health issue for us. The vaccine we received as children was developed in 1963. But in underdeveloped countries, 800,000 children died in 2003 alone. The students can do something about that.
The minimal thing one can do is just make a donation, even of $1, $5. Every dollar pretty much represents one human saved from the second greatest cause of childhood deaths in the world.
Freshman Nitin Sikar and a friend got involved in high school. Sikar came to UNC and the friend to Duke. They brought their Measles Madness campaign to their colleges, where the fundraiser here became a friendly collaboration.
There are 3 regions of the world.
Dr. Samuel Katz brought his prestige to the fundraising efforts at the 2 schools. He was one of the developers of the measles vaccine that has saved the lives of millions of children worldwide.
We've made great strides in that it used to be that about 8 million children a year died of measles in those countries. It's reduced by 90%, but 800,000 is still too many for a disease that should be totally preventable.
These 2 quarters could buy that life-saving vaccine for 1 child, and these 2 will pay to ship it to those who need it. The people behind the Measles Initiative hope you'll think of them the next time you think of sticking quarters in a vending machine. In Chapel Hill, I'm Elizabeth Storch, Carolina Week.
Students can easily make donations directly to the Campus Y through the free campus mail system.
Public bond money and $1 million in private donations made the renovation of the Health Sciences Library possible. The $13 million renovation project started 2 years ago. Some of the new features include 140 public computer workstations, multiple study areas with views of campus, and an electronically controlled compact shelving system in the basement. UNC System President Molly Broad spoke at the opening ceremony about the bonds that helped pay for the renovation and what the changes represent. $11.4 million of the money for the library came from the higher education bond referendum of 2000.
The Chapel Hill Town Council decided it would be prudent not to ask the state legislative delegation to seek repeal of the controversial Defense of Marriage Act. At a meeting between state and local lawmakers, Councilman Mark Kleinschmidt told his state counterparts that he has faith they will reflect the town's sentiments.
That you go and file a bill to repeal DOMA tomorrow, but what it does is really kind of to give you some political cover to do the right thing on this amendment issue.
The town's going to discuss the issue further at its meeting Monday night. Hundreds of Defense of Marriage Act supporters are expected to show up to voice their opinions.
Well, we've all heard milk does a body good. We also know what happens when you have too much of a good thing. You could call this too much of a good thing. On Monday, nearly 20 students helped recruit new members for Students International, a group that raises scholarship money for students in Tanzania and Zimbabwe. Outgoing student body president Matt Calabria says, in this case, chugging is a good thing.
They've done a lot of good things on campus, so I think this is really to raise visibility for that.
Contestants attempted to drink a gallon of milk in less than an hour, and the winner, the only person who managed to keep down the milk. Well, I'm not a milk fan, so I probably wouldn't be able to keep that down, and I'm glad that I didn't participate in that.
Yeah, the weather we've been having was a lot prettier than that milk video we just saw.
I think so.
It was a little disturbing there, but the weather's been great. We actually saw temperatures on Monday around 70 degrees in most of the triangle, but could there be changes? It may be nasty as you head out to class on Tuesday morning. I'll have details coming up.
"200 years ago, Lewis and Clark set out to discover an all-water route to the Pacific. But what they really discovered in themselves and everyone they encountered are qualities we can still learn from today. As we commemorate the Lewis and Clark bicentennial, we invite you to walk with them at lewisandclark200.org and see what you discover, because their trail winds through us all.
Well, time now for your Carolina Week weather. I'm weathercaster Rob Ellis. Let's take a look at the headlines. We had a beautiful week. Look at this beautiful spring picture we have here behind us. That's what we saw on Monday. But as we go into Tuesday, the start of our forecast period, it will be stormy. We have drastic changes that are going to be coming in the way of some storms, also some windy conditions that will be on Tuesday, as well as some cooler temperatures, about 20-degree drop. Let's go ahead and start with the national picture, see what's going on. Starting out through much of the Carolinas, you can see this area is clear. That's what brought us the wonderful weather. But here's the changes that are coming. This cold front that's going to be moving into our area. This is going to push through and bring us a chance for some severe storms, mainly to the south and east of the triangle, but there is the chance here for some very heavy rainfall and the possibility for some severe weather. Let's go ahead and take a look at the surface map, and I'll show you this cold front. Here it is. It's actually going to be propagating eastward and bringing us that weather, and as it moves through, it is going to be bringing us some windy conditions as well. Many times you have that with the cold front as it moves through. Looking out west, they're actually dry out here. That's some changes from what they've been having recently, and much welcome news there for the west. They've been dealing with just amazing amounts of rainfall, and we are fortunate that we're going to be dealing with a little bit of rainfall because we're a little dry from what we've seen. Let's take a look at the 4-day forecast, bring it right back to Chapel Hill and see what's going to be happening on Tuesday. Tuesday, here's that rainfall mainly in the morning. This is going to be a morning event, so when you wake up to head out to class or to work, if you're going there, you are going to see a chance for some showers, maybe some severe. You see the lightning there. Just a slight chance, perhaps to the south and east, a better chance of storms. A high of 52, and if you flip those numbers around, that's your low, 25. Wednesday, it's going to be clearing out after that cold front comes through. It will be breezy, but our temperatures are going to stay mild around 50 degrees, and our minimum temperature for that evening just below freezing mark at 30 degrees. Continued into Thursday, 51 degrees for your high, still partly cloudy, lows overnight 32, and as we go into Friday, we do increase our chance for some rainy weather, so a chance for showers and thunderstorms on Friday as well. And if we look at our Chapel Hill rainfall, I just wanted to show you that we are a little bit dry for the year. For March, we've only had a little over 1/3 of an inch, but normal for the month, we still have a lot to go, over 4 inches, and we're at 6.8 inches for the year, and we should be around 7 inches. So we're a little dry, but it's not too terribly bad at the moment.
Great. Well, you know what? I'm not looking forward to those storms, but it was a beautiful day walking down to the Dean Dome yesterday, so I think I can handle the storms.
You can't complain.
Exactly. Well, Rob, thank you so much. Wes, you have some exciting stuff to share. We did talk a little bit about the Duke game earlier, but I just cannot get over Carolina's win.
Yeah, it's footage that I could watch over and over and over and never get enough of it. And
Sure.
Speaking of that, we teased you, earlier with some footage in the show, but coming up after the break, sit back, pop open a cold one because we have all the highlights from Carolina's monumental win against those devilish Dukies.
I'm not stupid. I'm not lazy. I'm not distracted. I'm not slow. I'm not dumb.
Millions of kids have learning difficulties and are struggling in school. Without help, they could suffer the rest of their lives. If your child is struggling, visit focusonlearning.org. Do it for your child, do it for yourself, but do it now.
I'm not dumb. I'm smart.
Okay, here's a little pop quiz for you. Name any Oscar winner. Name one character from a Hollywood film. Easy, right? Oh, one more question. Name one character your kid learned about in English class.
Know what really matters. Know about your kid's school, and know about your kid. Find out 100 ways to know more, do more.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports. I'm Wes Wilson. My eyes might look a little bloodshot. That's because I spent all night on Franklin Street covering the celebration. What is it about the Duke-Carolina rivalry that makes it among the best in the nation? It seems like no matter what the names are on the back of the jerseys, whether they be Ford, Jordan, Dawkins, or Leitner, the games are always close. The one played Sunday afternoon in the Dean Dome was no exception. The fans came painted and ready at the Dean Dome, both young and old, but it was the Devils who came out hot in the first half. J.J. Redick scored 17 first-half points. The Tar Heels got back in the game by feeding Sean May down low. He finished the game with 26 points and, get this, 24 rebounds on the afternoon. But the Heels went cold late, and Duke jumped out to a late 9-point lead that forced head coach Roy Williams to call this timeout.
Told them if they'd make a total commitment to every possession on the defensive end and every possession on the offensive end, that we'd have a chance still at the end, and I think that's what they did.
Carolina down 9, 3 minutes to go. The comeback starts now. Jawad Williams with a big tip in. Heels down 7. Down 5 now, Felton to May. He gets blocked, but 2 words for you, beast mode, and 1. Then around Tar Heel Nation, this will affectionately be called the steal. Noel pokes it away, and Felton recovers. Heels down 2, but now with the ball. Shades of the last matchup. Felton has the ball, but drives this time and gets fouled. Carolina down 1 now with Felton shooting his second free throw. The 22,000 in attendance with the call. Carolina held on for the 75-73 win, and the team even cut down the nets to celebrate its first outright ACC championship in 12 years. There are some stories that just can't be written, because if they were, no one would believe them. Sports reporter John Leggett says that to go from 8-20 to regular season ACC champs might be too good to be true, but these 3 seniors helped write the story.
Sometimes I think things should happen just because it was right. And I think that Jackie and Melvin and Jawad ought to have a day like this.
As these 3 seniors were introduced for the last time Sunday, in a place they called home the last 4 years, something was very evident to the Smith Center crowd as they gave them one last farewell. Seniors Jackie Manuel, Jawad Williams, and Melvin Scott aren't your typical college basketball players. Jackie is a shooting guard who rarely ever shoots the ball. He prefers to take charges and lock down the opponent's best player rather than hit threes, although he does have his moments. Jawad is a power forward who loves to hang around behind the arc and hit shots from deep, but he has his moments in the paint where you better get out of his way. Melvin was replaced in the starting lineup last year by Jackie. As streaky as a zebra's backside, you never know when he's going to miss or hit big shots for the team. But these 3 are more than just basketball players. Jackie not only has a fiance, but a posse to boot. Melvin is a ladies' man that your mama warned you about. Jawad is a strong, silent type who loves for you to doubt him just so he can prove you wrong. From 8-20 in their first season to a home win against our rival Duke to clinch an ACC regular season championship in their last, coming full circle doesn't even begin to describe what these 3 seniors have been through or accomplished. Their journey at Carolina is almost over, but because of them, the next set of nets the team will be cutting down might be in St. Louis. But regardless of what the future might hold, these seniors will bow out as champions. In Chapel Hill, I'm John Leggett, Carolina Week Sports.
Thanks, John. The Heels took a big step towards becoming ACC tournament champions as they locked up the #1 seed with their win over the Blue Devils. Deja vu, baby. Just minutes before the men's matchup on Sunday, the women's basketball team had a comeback of its own. After barely sliding by Miami at Saturday's ACC tournament quarterfinals, the Lady Tar Heels struggled early against Virginia, trailing the Cavaliers for most of the game, but point guard Ivory Latta had her career-high 32 points, put Carolina up with only 34 seconds left. A few free throws later, and the Heels held on to go to the finals with a 78-72 win. And the Carolina women thought they were done with Duke. Not true, my friend. The top-seeded Lady Heels are going for their 3rd win against the 2nd-seeded Lady Blue Devils and hoping to break Duke's 6-year streak for the ACC tournament title. Defensive Player of the Year Nikita Bell and the Heels defense will have to be on the ball Monday night to keep Duke's Wanisha Smith and Monique Curry from dropping threes, a weakness that kept last month's matchup too close for comfort. With a rough game expected between the rivals, it might come down to a free throw shoot-off between the league leader Latta and the Devils. While free throws might win games on the court, throws to the mat put the wrestling team on top Saturday, helping the Heels capture their 16th conference title. Carolina edged Virginia Tech by 9.5 points to avenge an early season loss to the Hokies and grab the team title, thanks to a major decision moves by All-American Evan Sola, Drew Forshee, Garrett Atkinson, and David DeShaw, who earned bids to the NCAA tourney in St. Louis, March 17th through the 19th. It's been 3 years since the UNC softball team has been able to put a W in the win column against Florida State. Let's go to game 1 of a 3-game set. The game is scoreless heading into the 7th inning as Crystal Cox walks a Seminole, followed by a bunt right here, which causes the Tar Heels to regroup. Fans anxiously look on as the Seminoles slide into home plate and dust to the Heels for a 2-0 win in game 1. The Tar Heels dropped the second game 6-3. In Game 3, the Heels beat the Seminoles for the first time since 2000. UNC hit FSU early in the game and scored 2 runs in the second inning. Anna Evans brings in the first run with this bases-loaded hit. Then this walk right here gives the Heels the second run of the frame. Allison Yin pitches 7 solid innings to hold the Seminoles to 2 runs. The Heels win 3-2. After winning the ACC title last year, the men's tennis team shows it's back in 2005, opening conference play against Maryland on Saturday. The Heels were led by senior Jeff Boyd, who started slowly but started heating up with back-to-back aces. This guy's playing so hot, he can't even cool himself off. In doubles, Boyd's teammate Brad Pomeroy must have been watching Boyd earlier, as he says, yeah, back-to-back aces are tough, but I'll do it with 2 guys on the court. Carolina doesn't lose a single match, beating Maryland 7-0. On Sunday, the men's team took the action outdoors for the first time this season against Florida State. The Heels fought hard, but FSU gave them all they could handle and took the first doubles match 8-3. But the team of Jeff Boyd and Brad Pomeroy rallied and took the next match. With 1 doubles match each, a win depended on the team of Jonathan Janda and Ryan Lachichi. The two gave it their all, but narrowly lost 9-8. With the doubles point, FSU upset the Heels at home 4-3. So do you all get to go to the Duke game?
Yeah, we did. We actually, I didn't actually get to go, but Nora, you went.
I was there, and I still have a headache from screaming.
Yeah, and I have one late-breaking piece of news for you. The Heels are still second in the standings. Got some first-place votes, though, but still second.
Well, I know some people that are going to give up their spring break and go to the championship or the tournament in D.C. So thank you, Wes.
You're welcome.
Thanks, Wes. One local man's using his body as a billboard.
Coming up, we'll show you body art for a good cause.
Is it mice?
Nope.
Rats?
Nope.
Hogs?
That's right, miss.
Hogs.
Energy hogs. If you're wasting energy, you'll find one in your home.
Got energy hogs in your house? Now you have the power to do something about them. Log on to energyhog.org.
Hey, let me go.
In your dreams, Porky.
Because nobody likes an energy hog.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
Carolina fans have been painting the town blue. Now a Raleigh man plans to paint his body, not to cheer up on a team, but to help others. Reporter Lauren Cox explains.
Tattoo might look like your everyday tattoo parlor, but owner Jim Burris plans on using his ink and skin for a charitable cause. Burris will let his sons Mike and Adam tattoo his entire body in stages. That's right, entire body.
Except for my face, we plan on just framing my face with maybe like a V.
The Burrises hope to raise $10 million to benefit hungry children around the world and to help fund research for burn victims and autism. How can body art translate into dollars? By selling space on your body to advertisers. Mike got the idea from a friend.
Hearing about the guy who sold his forehead for, $37,000 and was going to buy himself a new car and clothes and everything. It's kind of a lot of money, for, one person. I could see somebody needing it, but just to do it and not really need the money, there's a lot of good you can do with all that money.
Tattoo artistry is a Burris family tradition. Mike and Adam have been at it for 5 years now.
I've always wanted to be a tattoo artist. It was just, my grandfather had one, uncle had them, dad's had them. So it's just something I've always been intrigued by.
Even their baby sister, Kristen, has helped out with the business. The Burrises say they feel a responsibility to help others.
Being a good person, a good human being, doesn't make me anything special. I can't be congratulated for something I'm supposed to be doing. I'm supposed to do it. That's what it is, really. I'm supposed to.
In Raleigh, I'm Lauren Cox, Carolina Week.
Well, Courtney, it's really great when you can take something that you love and make it a charity.
That's true. That looked very interesting. And that does it for this edition of Carolina Week.
Thanks for watching. Have a great night.
Good night.